Hello all, welcome to Paritranaya. In this video, we shall analyze and understand the editorial articles of The Hindu which have appeared on June 23. We shall also go through the crisp material which we have prepared, and it will be very much handy to revise at the time of examination. And at the end of this video, we shall also discuss about, or we shall see the list of the practice questions which will be beneficial from the prelims point of view. So let us begin. So first we will be discussing about an article, that is the Unedifying Row. After that, next we will be discussing about the second article, that is an organized counter to organized hate. So this will be the second article that we will be discussing. After that, the third article that we will be discussing is spiraling violence. And next, the fourth article that we will be discussing is a doorway to an entrepreneurial university. Next, after that, we will be discussing about the article wherein it is a conversation. So, can a shorter medical course solve rural doctor shortages? And finally, after that, we will be discussing about an article, that is the challenges of reporting in an ethnic conflict. So, let us begin with the first article. Okay, so the first article, the Unedifying Row. So let us try to understand its background. So this article is about West Bengal. So in West Bengal, Panchayat elections have been scheduled. So for Panchayat elections, the article has appeared regarding the deployment of central forces. But why do we require these central forces deployment? Because the state forces will not be sufficient in order to ensure the smooth conduction of the election. So we require the central forces. But here, when it comes to deployment of central forces, the government of West Bengal is not interested for the deployment of central forces, is not interested. But the opposition party in West Bengal, it is interested. So generally in any state, the opposition parties will be interested in the deployment of central forces. They think that whenever central forces are deployed, then the election will be conducted in a smooth manner. And also, if you look at the history of West Bengal, generally it is prone to poll-bond violences. So generally violences do take place at a time of election. So based on all this scenario, what the High Court of Calcutta did is, it asked State Election Commission, Calcutta High Court asked State Election Commission to request the center for deployment of forces. But government of West Bengal was unhappy with the High Court's direction. So what government of West Bengal did? It appealed to Supreme Court. Saying that we are not happy with the High Court's decision, so please quash it. But Supreme Court said, no, we will not quash it, because whatever the direction the High Court has given, it is correct. If you look at the poll history of West Bengal is generally prone to violences, and that is why whatever the High Court, the direction has given, it is correct. We will uphold that decision. So because of the Supreme Court's decision, so once High Court or Supreme Court, it gives a judgment or decision, that has to be adhered to. So based on the Supreme Court's decision, State Election Commission has now requested the center, to send the forces to send the forces, and center has agreed. So this article is regarding that. So if you look here, so Panchayat elections to be held in West Bengal. So West Bengal witnesses frequent poll-bond violences. So, and also there are also cases wherein prospective candidates, means a candidate who is willing to contest, he is not allowed to contest by the opponents. Okay, he is prevented from contesting. Again, such examples also do exist. And also, if you look at the history of in the recent past, in 2021, there were assembly elections in West Bengal. And even during those assembly elections, there were violences. And because of those violences, High Court had in 2021 ordered CBI investigation with respect to those violences. So all these points, they indicate that deployment of central forces is necessary in West Bengal. So what is the controversy that we have already seen? So State Election Commission, it was not willing to asked the center for the deployment of forces. So State Election Commission was in favor of West Bengal's government and they were not interested in the deployment of central forces. But when it comes to opposition parties, they were interested. State government was not interested. But what the Calcutta High Court did, it overruled the state government's decision and it asked the State Election Commission to request the center for the forces. Okay, request center for the forces. So all these things we have already seen. So here one important point to note here is, so the federal principle states that law and order is under the state's domain, is often strained and tested at such times. So what does it mean? Now we know that there are certain subjects on which center can work and there are certain subjects on which state can work. So this segregation has been made in the 7th schedule of the Constitution, which we are already aware of. So in the 7th schedule, there are 3 lists, list 1, list 2 and list 3. List 1 is also called as union list, list 2 is also called as state list. So on list 2 subjects, that is state list subjects, states have the power. So this law and order is a subject which is present in the 2nd list of the 7th schedule. So only state governments are supposed to make laws and also implement them. But here now High Court has interfered, and it is trying to alter some of the federal principles. So this point is very important from exam point of view. So in prelims they may ask you a question like this. So law and order falls under which list? Whether it falls under union list, state list or concurrent list. So these things you have to remember. And also apart from that, the questions that may be asked in prelims from this article is, so Panchayat Raj elections are conducted by whether Central Election Commission or State Election Commission. So we need to understand that Panchayat Raj elections are conducted by State Election Commission. Okay, State Election Commission. So all these things are important. All these things are important. Next, we shall move with the next article. So in this next article, there are no hardly there are 1 or 2 points that are important. So one is the organization Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. So we know that it is the largest social organization across the globe. So few things have appeared regarding Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, and also a term has appeared, Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb. So we need to understand the meaning of this term. So generally it is used to refer the composite high culture that is prevalent in India. So it indicates about the fusion of Hindu cultural elements with Muslim, and how Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh is involved in promotion of this. So regarding that we have content in this article. So apart from that, there are no other points which are important from exam point of view. Next, spiraling violence. So this is an article related to Israel and Palestine. So here, this is our Israel. Later on, where is Israel located? Israel is located in Middle East. So when I say Middle East, which are the various countries which are present in Middle East? I'll give you a few examples. Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, all these countries, they form part of Middle East. So in that Middle East, we have Israel. Israel. So here, if you look in this article, there are 2 important regions which have appeared. One is West Bank and the other one is Gaza. So where is West Bank? So this is Israel. The whole of this is Israel. But here we have within Israel, this is West Bank, and this is Gaza. Gaza and West Bank. So these regions, Gaza and West Bank, they are disputed between Israel and Palestine. Palestine says that it belongs to it, whereas Israel says that it belongs to it. And here we come across a term called as Israeli settlements. So it means there are some areas where Israel has established its establishments. It means that region is under the control of Israel. And continuously it is disputed, and some fights do occur between Israel and Palestine. So in that context, this article has appeared, and we need to know the important points from prelims as well as mains point of view. So what is that? See here. So Israeli settlements in West Bank. So we already know where West Bank is located. So West Bank is located here. Next, from exam point of view, generally UPSC focuses on cities and in which country they are located. Or sometimes they may even focus on region. So if you look here, it is the city name has appeared, that is Jenin. So where is Jenin located? Whether it is located in Israel? Yes, it is located in Israel. So specifically in Israel, in which part? Whether in Gaza or in West Bank? It is located in West Bank. So this point becomes important from exam point of view. Next, one more city has appeared. So that is Ely. So again, where is Ely located? Again, Ely is also located in West Bank. It is located in West Bank. So here in this article, we come across a word called as Second Intifada. Okay, Intifada. So need not stress much on this word. It is not that much important. At the superficial level, we shall understand that. So Palestinian uprising against Israel. So Palestinian people, they were unhappy with the Israel's development movements. So that is why they became rebel against the Israel. So this has happened twice. So first Intifada and second Intifada. So second Intifada, it happened approximately between 2000 and 2005. 2005. So in prelims, what kind of questions they may ask you? They may ask you questions like match the following type of questions, wherein they'll give you city Zenin and they will also give you city Eli, and they'll give the corresponding country. So you should be able to identify whether the corresponding country which has been given there is correct or not. If it is Israel, then it will be correct. Otherwise, it will be wrong. Similarly, they may ask you about, like, generally in the newspaper, the term Second Intifada or Intifada appears in the context of which country? It appears in the context of Israel and Palestine. Israel and Palestine. Next. So now West Bank is under the control of, West Bank, majority of the regions in the West Bank, they are under the control of Israel. Under the control of Israel. Okay. Next, this point is not that much important. So Jenin, so it has emerged as a hotbed of violent Palestinian resistance. So Israel is trying to occupy the territories of West Bank, more and more territories, and Palestine is opposed to it. Okay, and it is opposed to it. Next, Israel cabinet approved plans to build new settlements in West Bank. So here, next, the Palestinians are divided. So here we come across two communities. One is Fatah, another one is Hamas. So from exam point of view, what we need to understand is this Fatah and Hamas, they are fighting for whom? They are fighting in favor of Palestine. They are fighting against whom? They are fighting against Israel. Okay, against Israel. But we saw two regions. One is West Bank and the other one is Gaza. So who is strong in West Bank? In West Bank, Fatah, they are fighting against the Israel, and in Gaza, Hamas are fighting against the Israel. Okay. So again, these points are very important. So in this context, a word has appeared called as Arab world. So what is that Arab world? Where it is located? So this part, we call it as Middle East, and this is our Africa. This is our Africa. So here, first thing that we need to understand is when we say Arab world is spread across both Africa as well as Middle East. Okay, Africa as well as Middle East. Also, we need to know about the countries from the borders perspective that are part of Arab world. So here from Africa, Morocco is part of Arab world. Next, Algeria is there, Tunisia is there, Libya is there, Egypt is there, Sudan. So all these are countries which are part of Arab world. Similarly, if you look at Middle East, Saudi Arabia is part of Arab world, Iraq is part of Arab world, Syria is there, Jordan is there, but Israel is not a country of Arab world. Okay, very important point to note. Yemen is part of Arab world, Oman is part of Arab world, and so on. So even such kind of questions can be framed in prelims. They may give you a list of countries and they may ask you which of the following countries are part of the Arab world. Okay, so in order to address such kind of questions, we also need to know the countries which are part of Arab world. Okay, Arab world. So here, an important point from mains point of view. So mains point of view, what is that? So Arab world, initially it supported Palestinian. It supported Palestine. Okay, it supported Palestine, and it said that Palestine should get its own country and from Israel. So it supported Palestinian rights. But now the recent developments show that Arab world, it wants to improve its relationship with Israel. So it means previously Palestine had the supporters from Arab world, but now it is losing its support because the countries which are part of the Arab world, they want to build good relationship with Israel. They want to build good relationship with Israel. So again, these points are important from mains point of view. Next, the US and Europe. US and Europe. So we are already aware of the war that is going on between Ukraine and Russia. Okay, Ukraine-Russia war that is going on. So when it comes to Ukraine and Russia war, Europe is supporting, Europe as well as United States, they are supporting Ukraine to fight against Russia in every possible way. So they are supplying what money, and they are also supplying the advanced weapons to Ukraine in order to support Ukraine in its war against Russia. But at the same time, it is in no way helping Palestinians. Okay, hardly raise a voice when Israeli troops are killing Palestinians in the occupied territories every day. It means the author wants to highlight that Europe and USA, so they have double standards. When it comes to Ukraine, they are supporting Ukraine, but when it comes to Palestine, they are not supporting Palestine. Okay, so this is what they have highlighted. So here again, as we saw, there are some points which are important from Prelims point of view, and also there are few points which are important from Mains point of view as well. So just here it's a revisit. So what are the important terms in this article? Israel, next Palestine, Arab world, Ukraine-Russia conflict, Gaza. So where it is located is western part of southwestern part of Israel. Jenin, where it is located in West Bank. Fatah, so it controls West Bank, or it is dominant in West Bank, and Hamas, they are dominant in Gaza. So Hamas and Fatah, they are working in favor of Palestine, and they are fighting against Israel. Okay, and similarly we saw about USA and Europe, what kind of double standards they are following. So when it comes to Ukraine, they are extending support, but when it comes to Palestine, they are not extending support. Next, professor of practice. So professor of practice. So UGC, University Grants Commission has come up with a new proposal that is called as professor of practice. Okay, professor of practice. So in this context, we should go beyond this article to explore more information. For example, when any organization appears in the newspaper, the first question that we need to ask to ourselves is whether that organization is a constitutional body, or whether it is a statutory body or non-statutory body. So if you look at all the previous year question papers, every year at least 1 or 2 questions do appear on these organizations. And generally these organizations, they will take from the organizations which are repeatedly appeared in the newspaper. So from that context, this UGC becomes important. So what extra information that you have to search for? You have to search whether University Grants Commission is a constitutional body or statutory body or non-statutory body. If at all it is a statutory body, you should also know under which article, under which act of the parliament this University Grants Commission has been created. Okay, so those things are important. Now next, so what does this article speak about? So here there are various entities at the superficial level indicated: academy, industry. For example, a college, it is called as an academic. Okay, academic college. Industry, where actually some production is taking place. Okay, some production or some development is taking place. So an example is a software engineer. Software engineer will be working in a company. Okay, so he'll be working in a company. So in academy, generally a teacher or professor will engage the subjects. Okay, engage the subjects. Generally, in the academic, we are partially aware of the developments that are happening in the industry. Okay. Sometimes academy is not able to meet the expectations of the industry. So what does it mean? When we produce engineers, for example, so they do not meet the industry standards. And this problem has been highlighted time and again. So here the proposal is that, so those who are working in the industry, those who are already working in the industry, those who have experience, so they will be hired as professors. They will be hired as professors to teach in an academic environment. So what happens with the help of this? With the help of this, the gap that exists between the academia and the industry, that gap will be bridged. And definitely it will lead to more and more innovation, and more Indian based companies we can start, okay, with the help of this innovation. So this is the major idea behind the proposal, that professors of practice. So they are already practiced in industry, and that practice will be implemented when they are hired as professors in the academic institutions. So this is the background of this article. Based upon this, if you go through our crispy content, then you'll be able to understand. So here, from Prelims point of view, there are no much points. Hardly they may ask you about the University Grants Commission or what is professor of practice. But there are many points which can be used from Mains point of view. For example, now here, what is the difference between professor of practice and professor? So normally in an academic institution, a professor is expected for higher study, or he is expected to do higher study, like he has to pursue his PhD and all. But when you are hiring a person who has an experience in industry into the academic environment, you will be not expecting him or her to have completed PhD and all, or to pursue PhD and all. Here what we want is whatever the experience that he has gained in industry, the same has to be shared with the students, and a kind of collaboration has to happen between the academy and industry, and finally all these things will lead to the development of the industry, and finally indirectly it will contribute to the development of the nation. Next, can a shorter medical course solve rural doctor shortages? So again, a very important article. Okay, a very important article. Okay. So here, let us look into the problem. So what is the problem, or what is the background of this article? There are various entities involved here. So doctors, okay, doctors, urban area, rural area, okay, primary health center, ASHA, National Medical Commission. There are so many keywords. Okay, let us try to connect the dots. So this article has appeared in the context of West Bengal Chief Minister asking its health department to consider starting a 3-year diploma course for medical practitioners. So West Bengal Chief Minister, she has proposed an idea of starting a 3-year diploma course. Okay, so that once the candidates will pass out from these institutions, they can serve in primary health centers. The next question is, why do we want to start diploma when we already have doctors? The already available doctors, first of all, the doctors ratio in India is less compared to the global average, and especially when it comes to West Bengal, the number of doctors per 10,000 population is below the national average. Okay, it is below the national average. So whatever the national average is there, so West Bengal's that ratio is relatively less. Okay, relatively less. And also doctors are unwilling to serve in rural areas. So most of the doctors, they are unwilling to serve in rural areas, but they are ready to serve in urban areas. So now the major reason behind the proposal is, if most of the doctors are willing to serve in urban areas, then there should be at least few who are willing to serve in rural areas. So that is why if we create a diploma course, so the doctors will come out, at least they will be ready to serve in rural areas. So this is the plan. Okay, this is the plan. Now in this context, various questions will arise. What is that? For example, it will be like discrimination. What is a discrimination? In urban areas, fully qualified doctors will be there. In rural areas, not fully qualified doctors will be serving. So it will be a kind of discrimination as well. But if we look only from this discrimination angle, then probably the things will not work as per the requirement. Because in any country, okay, a perfect solution is not possible. So sometimes you have to go for a compromised solution. So in rural area also we can depute doctors, we can recruit doctors and all, but cost involved is very, very high. So rather than just keeping mum, at least if we are able to initiate some things for the welfare of the rural area, then that will be beneficial. So there are some points both in favor of creating diploma courses, whereas there are some opinions which are against it. Okay, So all these points, they are going to benefit us from mains point of view. Okay, mains point of view. Another issue that has been highlighted here is compulsory rural posting. So we are all aware that once a candidate completes his graduation, once he completes his medical education, so he is supposed to serve in a rural area for few years, 1 year or 2 years. Okay, he has to serve there. So this compulsory rural posting, whether it is going to help the rural areas, yes, definitely it is going to help the rural areas. But recently, National Medical Commission, it has made a proposal. What is that? It has made a proposal to remove this compulsory rural posting. But if this facility is removed, then definitely it will have a negative impact on the health of rural population. Okay, rural population. So all these things we should be able to connect from mains point of view. Okay, from mains point of view. So here again in this article, ASHA has appeared. So we need to know what is ASHA. So accredited social health activist. So what are the various responsibilities or functions performed by them? So we need to know about it. So here they only mentioned about primary health center. We need to know extra information about primary health center. So what is the difference between primary health center, secondary health center? So all these things we need to explore more. Okay, we have to explore more. So these things have been discussed in this article. And also there are a few more things. Now one more problem when it comes to medical field is most of the medical colleges, they are concentrated either in southern states and also in few forward states like Maharashtra and Gujarat. So this disparity in the spread of colleges should also be addressed. Okay, should also be addressed. And this problem, it gets exacerbated because the 85% of the seats in these colleges are reserved for candidates from within those states. It means most of the doctors will be concentrated in the southern states, and the northern states, they do not have significant significant doctors population in order to satisfy the requirement of that particular area. Okay? So these are the various challenges that are being faced. Next, the challenges of reporting on an ethnic conflict. So this article, it does not consist of any points from prelims point of view, any important points from prelims point of view, but from mains point of view, yes. Okay. So whenever reporter is reporting, a journalist is reporting, so religion or ethnicity should not matter. So he should present the facts plainly, in a plain manner. It should not be biased. But recently, while reporting the incidents of Manipur, it was observed that the police as well as the press, okay, so they were deeply divided in reporting the violent incidents of Manipur. So the reports presented by one police was different from the other. The report presented by one journalist was different from that of the other. So all these things indicate that somewhere religion or ethnicity of that particular police or that particular journalist played a role in presenting the events. So such kind of things should not happen. So always the information has to be presented in a plain manner, because it's the responsibility of a journalist. So these points have been highlighted in this article. Okay, in this article. So afterwards, in the description section, we have given the link with the help of which you can download this PDF as well. You can download this PDF. So once you are done with this, you can answer these practice questions. Okay, these practice questions. So here, Panchayat election in India are conducted under the watch of the Election Commission of India. True or false, you have to indicate. So you can just practice it. So if at all you want to comment, then through the comment box you can indicate the question number and also indicate whether true or false. So also in the description section, we have given one more link with the help of which you can attempt these questions in a test mode. Okay, in a test mode, and check yourself to what extent you have understood the content of these articles and to what extent you are able to answer these questions correctly. So in this class, we discussed about the editorial of Hindu. So similarly, in the subsequent videos, we will be discussing other important contents of newspaper as well as other topics. For all our updates, subscribe to our channel and hit on the bell icon. Thank you.